Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambujanmani Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmani. Okay, let us read the verses we covered, verses 46 to 48. Manojambhanarahitye yatha sakshi nirakulaha maya jambhanatah purvam sattathaiva nirakulam nistatva karyagam yasya shaktirmayagni shaktivata nahi shakti kvachit kaishchit Puthyate karyata pura na sadvastu sata shaktihi nahi vahne swashaktita sadvilakshanatayam tu shakte kim tattva muchyata. Okay, so now in Panchadashi we are entering into the topic of Maya. So what is this Maya? So how did this topic come about? So there was this discussion with the Nayayikas. And basically the Advaitins said that if you, O Nayayika, can see this world, right? If you can see space without this world, we can see existence without space. So for the Advaitin, this existence is the substratum of all manifestation. Now, how is this existence experienced? This existence is experienced as it is, as one's own self, all the time. But as it is in its pristine nature, without any thought mentations, that is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So in verse 46, it says that Manojrambana Rahitye. When the mind is devoid of all mentations, that way, just as Sakshi, that witness, is Nirakula, it's free from any disturbance. So in that deep state of Samadhi, that Sakshi, that witness, is devoid of any mentations. In the same way, that Sat or existence before creation, before Maya, was free from all mentations. So that Sat before Maya, Maya Jumbanata Purvam, before Maya, Sat was free of disturbance. So now, okay, so now we understand Sat in its pristine state is without this Maya. What now is this Maya? What is this Maya that appears? So in 47, we saw three things, three sort of descriptions for Maya. The first one is Shakti. Shakti means it's a power. Just like fire has a power to burn, Brahman has a Shakti, a power, and that power is called Maya. So Shakti means Maya is this kind of power. Now, what about this Shakti? Can we see Maya? Can we directly see or perceive Maya? The answer is no. So nobody's ever seen Maya. But Maya is Karyagamya. Karyagamya means it's inferred through its effects. Just like we do not see the power to burn. But when we see fire, we understand that fire has the power to burn. So we see fire, we understand inherent in fire is that power. When you see somebody who is speaking, you do not see the power to speak, but you understand that the person has that power to speak. Or when you see a person writing, you don't see the power to write, but you understand that there's a power to write. So this Shakti, this Maya, cannot be perceived through the senses, but it's known through inference. Karya means effect. Anugamya means it's inferenced through its effect. The third description is it's nistatva. Nistatva. Tatva means reality. Nistatva, it doesn't have its own independent reality. And so these are the three, and this nistatva is what's going to be elaborated. And so here, what is shown is that Maya cannot exist without Brahman, right? Just like the fire and the power to burn cannot exist without fire. Maya cannot exist without Brahman. It is never seen in the world that the power exists separate from its possessor, right? So we saw that we cannot say my power to listen will attend class, but I won't attend class. Both come together, right? So now, then what happens is here, the Purva Paksha now raises a question. So in 48, it says, Na sadvastu sataha. So the power of the substance is not the substance itself. So the power to burn is not fire itself, right? So therefore, Maya is not Brahman itself. Granted, Maya cannot exist without Brahman, but just like the power to burn is not fire itself, Maya is not Brahman itself. So here, the Purva Paksha, or the one who is questioner says, Sadvilakshanatayam tu. If Maya is different from Brahman, if it's different from Sat, Brahman, then Kim Tattvam Uchyatam? What is the nature of this Maya? You please tell me. So this is now where we are in Panchadashi. So we will start from 49, verse 49. Shunyatvam iti chet shunyam. Shunyatvam iti chet shunyam. Maya karyamiti ritam. Maya karyamiti ritam. Na shunyam napi sadyadrika. Na shunyam napi sadyadrika. Tadrik tatvamiheshyatam. Tadrik tatvamiheshyatam. Shunyatvam iti chet shunyam. Maya karyamiti ritam. Na shunyam napi sadyadrika. Tadrik tatvamiheshyatam. So now, if you say, now, so what could be the nature of Maya, right? It's not Sat. So could it be Shunya? Shunyatvam iti chet. If you say that Maya is Shunya, Shunya asat, non-existence, how could it be? Because Shunyam Maya karyam iti ritam. You cannot say that Maya is Shunya because we see the effects. Karya means effects. The effects of Maya they have to be said. So the effects of Maya is this entire world, because we know in Taittiriya Upanishad, from Atma, through the power of Maya comes space, then air, then fire, then water, and earth. So the effects of Maya are seen, they are perceived, they are experienced. So because they are seen and perceived and experienced, we cannot say that Maya is non-existence. the whole world we see. This book is, this computer is, you are, I am, everything is. We experience it. It's very much there. It is not like total non-existence, like the horns of a hare. So therefore, it cannot be shunya. It cannot be asat. So na shunyam. It cannot be shunya. But can it be sat? Can it be this reality, sat? Na be sat. It cannot be sat or Brahman. Why? Because sat is that which is absolutely real. It's absolutely real. And we'll see what this means. Huh? Yadrik, sat, yadrik, tadrik, tattvam, iheshyatam. So in that way, in this way that Maya is not sat or asat, in that way that is Maya's nature. So let's clearly define all of these terms, right? What is sat? Sat, absolute reality, existence, Brahman, has two definitions. The first one is that it exists throughout all three periods of time. It exists throughout all three periods of time. And in fact, when we look at it even deeper, it is beyond time. This is one definition of Sat. The second definition of Sat is that it can never be negated. It cannot be falsified, right? This is the definition of Sat. Now, what is the definition of Asat? Asat or Shunya? The definition is that it doesn't exist in any period of time. So it doesn't exist. Like if I say there's a lion here right by me, that's called Asat. It does not exist at all. So in between this existence and non-existence, in between, we have this thing called Maya. In between. Why is it in between? Because it's not something that's there throughout all three periods of time. And it's not something that cannot be negated. It can be negated. So it cannot be Sat. Why is it not non-existence? Why is it not going to the non-existent side? Is because it's not absolute non-existence. It appears. We experience it. So Maya is something, in short, that appears but can be falsified. This is called Maya. It's different from Sat and Asat. It appears, but it can be falsified. Now, here's where we really have to think, right? Here's where the seeker makes the jump. What is the jump? In the beginning, our sort of viveka, our capacity to discern, is what is permanent and impermanent. And this all of us can discern, right? Permanent is something that's always there, and impermanent is something that comes and goes, and it changes. And we're very comfortable along this line of inquiry. And anybody can do this inquiry. Yeah? There is something permanent, there is something impermanent, right? So I am permanent, and some things come and they go, they're impermanent. But even if things are impermanent, we still want them, right? Even if it's like an impermanent pizza, I still want that pizza. Even if it's an impermanent vacation, I still want to go on that vacation. It can be impermanent, but I still want to enjoy. So this is not the level of viveka that we should aspire to. The next level of viveka is that it is not only impermanent, it is false. It is not only impermanent, but it is falsely existing. What do I mean here? For example, let us first take the dream state, right? Now, all of us agree that the dream state is impermanent. It's there sometimes, and it's not there sometimes. But the fact that it's not there sometimes shows that it only has borrowed existence. Existence, it's not its inherent nature. So dream at one point exists, and then at another point it doesn't exist. Huh? So it's not only that it's temporary, but at some point it exists, and at some point it doesn't exist. So we're saying that this is what you call Maya. Sometimes it exists, then sometimes it doesn't exist. So existence is not its nature. It's borrowing existence. It's borrowing existence from consciousness. Sometimes it's there, and sometimes it's not there. So that whole dream experience, it doesn't exist in the waking state. But yet, that whole dream experience exists in the dream state. Similarly, the whole waking experience exists in waking state, but it doesn't exist in dream state. So it exists sometimes. Our waking world, I'm talking about our waking world experience, exists sometimes, and then sometimes it doesn't exist. So not only is it impermanent, but it's apparent. It's apparent. It is something that only appears to exist. It doesn't exist in its innate nature, in its innate ability. Similarly, now I'll give you another example. Our ego, our individuality appears to exist, yes, but then in such states as deep sleep or deep samadhi, it does not exist. So this existing and not existing sometimes, this is called Maya. Another word is called mithya. So not only is it, temporary, it is false. This is what we mean by false. It exists and then it doesn't exist. This is a jump. So when a seeker understands that the discernment is not permanent and impermanent, it's got to come to a deeper level. This is real and this is actually apparent. One is real, one is apparent. So if in our transactions, yes, we might desire a temporary vacation, a temporary pizza, a temporary outing. But if we understand that this is all just an appearance, will that desire ever come? Will it ever come for such an appearance? An example that I always give you is that, yes, there's fruit on the table. It's temporary. There's an apple, a banana, an orange. Oh, yes, temporary. You'll want it. But if it's plastic fruit, will you want it? No. So this is what we mean by Maya. It is apparent. It's apparent. It's not Sat. It is not Asat. Okay. Now, further, they're going to now, Swami Vidyaranya Ji is going to sort of cite a quotation from our scriptures to show that this is not his own thinking. This is actually based on the scriptures, and this is where he gets it from. So let's see verse number 50. Na sadasi no sadasid, na sadasi no sadasid, tadanim kim tvabhutamaha, tadanim kim tvabhutamaha, sadyogatamasasattvam, sadyogatamasasattvam, naswatastan nishedhanat, naswatastan nishedhanat, na sadasi no sadasi, tadanim kim tvabhutamaha, sadyogatamasasattvam, Naswatastan nishedhana. So this verse, particularly na sadasi, no sadasi, tadani, that line comes from what is called the Nasadiya Suktam in Rig Veda. What does this verse mean? This scripture is actually saying this. What's so powerful is thousands of years ago, all of this is already in our Vedas. It's already there. And what it says is na asat. So this Maya is not asat. Na sat asit. It's not asat. It's not non-existence. Na u sad asit. And neither is it existence. So it's not asat, it's not sat. Tadani. Tadani means before creation. It's not sat or asat. Kim tu, but abhutamaha. It is this darkness called tamas. Maya is sometimes called tamas or tamaha because it's a veiling. It veils us. And that's why it's called tamas. Tamas is the power of veiling, something that deludes us. So Maya is always called tamas. Sadyogat tamasas sattvam. So there was Maya, but how did Maya get its existence? How did Maya get its existence? Satyoga tamasas sattvam. Sattvam. The existence of tamasa, of Maya, is due to the association with Sat. Satyoga tamasa. Association of Maya is due to Sat. Naswataha, and it's not on its own. It does not exist on its own. Tannishedana. Tat. And the scriptures, they negate the existence of Maya on its own. So therefore, Maya is not something that exists independently. It is dependent on Brahman, just like the power to burn is dependent on fire. But there's a slight difference, as we saw, that fire and its power to burn are the same degree of reality, whereas Brahman and Maya are different degrees of reality. That's the difference that we have to see here. What is this association of Brahman and Maya? When we say Brahman, Maya gets its existence from association with Brahman. What is this association? This association is not what we call samyoga. So it's not like, let's say, this bottle touching this book holder. It's not like this. It's not like two concrete things coming together. Two things with parts coming together. It's not like this. Nor is it what we call samavaya, like the color of this cloth and the cloth, that the color is pervading and penetrating the cloth. It's not that kind of association. What is the association? It's the association of no association. There is no association. There's no association because it is of the superimposed and the substratum. Like the snake on the rope. The snake is a mere superimposition on the rope. Never does the snake touch the rope. Never does the snake pervade the rope or come in contact with the rope. The snake is merely a superimposition on the rope. That's what it means. So Maya gets its existence from Brahman by Brahman being the substratum, Brahman being that existence. And on that existence, name and form are superimposed. And this is the so-called, how Gurudev says, relationless relationship between Brahman and Maya. Relationless relationship. Now, this is a very, very powerful thing because what it's saying is that there's no contact. There is absolutely no contact. Asparsha yogo vainama durdarsha sarva yogipihi. That the entire movie has no contact with the screen. So whatever is happening in my own little world, in my own realm, in my own body and mind does not even touch me. Gandha matramapi, Adi Shankaracharya says, not even a sniff of it touches us. There's no association. So this is how Maya appears in Brahman. Now, very interestingly, he's going to say now, because it is this relationless relationship, then what happens is there is only non-duality. So let us see this verse. Verse number 51. Ata eva dvitiyatvam, ata eva dvitiyatvam, shunyatvam nahi garnyate, shunyavat nahi garnyate, naloke chaitra tat shaktyoho, naloke chaitra tat shaktyoho, jivitam likhyate pratak. Jivitam likhyate pratak, ata eva dvitiyatvam, shunyavan nahi garnyate, naloke chaitra tat shaktyoho, jivitam likhyate pratak. So what he's saying here is ataha. Ataha means therefore. Therefore, because Maya is neither sat nor asat. And this is the explanation of Maya. Maya it's inexplicable as existence or non-existence. Not that Maya is inexplicable on just like that. Maya cannot be explained as existence or non-existence because it is something that's in between there. It is something that appears, but it's something that also can be negated. So because this is the nature of Maya, because Maya is merely a superimposition on Sat, then therefore, dvitiyatvam. Dvitiyatvam means duality nahi garnyate. Duality cannot be counted. It cannot be counted just like shunya. Shunya, non-existence, obviously we know, cannot be counted. Right? Cannot be counted. If I say there's a person here, okay, there's me and this person here. You cannot count this person because this person doesn't exist. This other person doesn't exist. So something that's shunya, something that doesn't exist, we cannot count. But in the same way, Maya, even if it appears, it cannot be counted. Why? Because that snake that appears on the rope, you cannot count it as separate. It cannot appear without the rope. It is appearing only because of the rope. And in fact, the snake is in essence the rope. So snake is appearing in the rope. Snake is appearing because of the rope. Snake is the rope. So this ego is appearing in awareness. It is appearing because of awareness. It's because it's illumined by awareness. And in actuality, this ego is nothing but awareness. This world is appearing in Brahman. This world is appearing because of Brahman. Because of that awareness, this world exists. Otherwise, this world will not exist. And this world is, in fact, Brahman. So, because it's just a mere appearance, it cannot be counted as two. Even if it appears as it's something else, it is actually that same thing itself. Right? So, na dvitiyatvam. Maya cannot be counted as two. It is just one. Because of this relationless relationship. And he cites an example saying, na loke, in this world, loke, Not Chaitra. Chaitra is the name of a person. Chaitra, tat shaktyayoho. Chaitra and his power, jivitam nalikhyate pritak. Chaitra and his power, the existence of them separately, nalikhyate, are not written, right? Chaitra and his power, or this person his power, they're just seen as one. We never see the power as separate. Like we said, the power may be different. The power to speak may be different from the person, but the power to speak is not separate from the person, does not exist separate. So in this way, Maya may be different from Brahman, but Maya cannot exist apart from Brahman. And in reality, Maya is Brahman alone. Everything is Brahman alone. This is the step we have to take to get into Advaita. If we're still thinking that there are different things and different people and different egos, then that is far from Advaita. One Swamiji said something very, very beautiful. He said that just think of the value of one. We may write a check. You can write a check with 0, 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 4 zeros. But there's no value to that check until and unless you put a 1. In the same way, all of these things that we acquire, that we desire, that we want, they're all 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Without that 1, they have no existence. It is only by that 1 that the 0 gets its value. That 1 is Sat. Ekam eva advitiyam. Okay. So now we've established. What have we established? We've established that Maya is this Shakti of Brahman, and Maya exists dependently on Brahman. Now, the Purva Paksha, again, the opponent says, I think this power is different. I think it's different, not only different, we say, yeah, it's different. I think this power exists separately. I think this power exists separately. I think this power has its own kind of power. I think this power has its own kind of existence. So let's see what this opponent says, right? Shaktyadhikye jivitam chet. Shaktyadhikye jivitam chet. Vardhate tatra vriddhikrita. Vardhate tatra vriddhikrita. Na shakti kintu tat karyam. Na shakti kintu tat karyam. Yuddha krishyadhikam tatha. Yuddha krishyadhikam tatha. Shaktyadhikye jivitam chet. Vardhate tatra vriddhikrita. Na shakti kintu tat karyam. Yuddha krishyadhikam tatha. So this person is trying to make a case that no, the power exists separate. It has its own kind of existence. How do you say this? Okay, here, Shaktya dikye jivitam chet. Jivitam here means excellence in one's life. So when the efficiency, the proficiency in one's life, Shaktyadikye, when the power increases, means the power of excellence or efficiency in one's life increases, then Vardhate tatra vriddhikrita, then that life also increases. So when the power increases, then the quality, the excellence in life also increases. So this Shakti must be something else, because when this increases, the excellence in life also increases. So then the Advaitin says, no. It's not the Shakti. One's excellence in life, one's efficiency in life is not due to the power. It's not due to the power. It's not due to Shakti. But kintu tat karyam, the effect of Shakti. What do you mean the effect of Shakti? It's not whether I have the power or not. It's whether I use it. That's what matters, right? It's whether I use it. So let's say if I have the power to speak, fine, that's there. But what if I don't use it? I won't grow. So Shakti itself is not a factor. It's not an independent factor for the growth of life, right? The thing is, one has to use it, the implementation of that Shakti, the use of that Shakti, the ability to bring it out. That's what matters. And that's how people grow. And so he says, you can see it, yuddha krishyadikam tatha. You can see it in war and agriculture. So in war, people may have the ability to fight, but only those who use it, who actually go into the battlefield, then only their life increases, means their skill, their efficiency increases. Same in farming. People may have the ability and potency to farm their lands, but only the one who's actually implementing it. That's the one who grows. So so there's no case for this, right? Shakti is, yes, it's different from Brahman, but it's not separate from Brahman. Don't try to establish some whole separate thing and saying that Shakti is really its own thing, because when it increases, then the livelihood, the efficiency increases. No, that's not really the case. It's not Shakti. It's how you manipulate it and use it. But in any case, this doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. So the Advaita now is trying to bring this person back to topic, right? Now, what is the Advaitans' answer? So here. Sarvatha Shakti Matrasya, Sarvatha Shakti Matrasya, Na Prithak Ganana Kvachita, Na Prithak Ganana Kvachita, Shakti Karyam tu Naivasti, Shakti Karyam tu Naivasti, Vitiyam Shakyate Katham, Vitiyam Shakyate Katham. Sarvatha Shakti Matrasya na prithak ganana kvachit Shakti karyam tu naivasti Dvitiyam shakyate katham. So now this Advaitin really wants to make this point very, very clear. He says, Sarvatha Shakti Matrasya, all the time, Sarvatha, all the time, that Shakti, that power, na pritak ganana kvachit, it cannot be counted separate. All the times, all the times, always, that power cannot be counted as separate. Thus, snake cannot be counted separate from the rope. The snake is the rope. It appears on the rope. It appears because of the rope. It is the rope. It cannot be counted separate. But if you say, well, what about the effects of Shakti, right? So you said the effects of Shakti, this whole world, right? This whole world is the effect of Maya. So space, air, fire, water, the land, the waters, the people, the minds, the bodies, all of these are effects of Shakti. So, okay, you're telling me Shakti cannot be independent of Brahman. Shakti and Brahman cannot be counted as two. But now I'm telling you the effects of Shakti, there are many. So there's still duality. The effects of Shakti are so many, there's still duality. So now what does the Advaitin say? Shakti karyam tu naiva asti. There is, even the effects of Shakti cannot be counted. Why? Because if the cause cannot be counted as separate, how is the effect going to be counted as separate? If the cause Maya is an appearance, then the world is also an appearance. The cause and effect are exactly the same. The cause is nothing but the effect in another form at a later time. That's all it is. Effect is just something that comes at a later time. It's a modification of the cause coming at a later time. That is all what effect means, right? So the cause is something that is an appearance, and therefore its effect is also an appearance. Don't think that the effect can be something else. And therefore, O Purvapaksha, or opponent, Dvitiyam Shakyate Katham. What grounds are there for assuming duality? There are no grounds for assuming duality. And this is what the Advaitin is trying to say. So now, let me just summarize this thought flow and sort of maybe let's look at some implications here. This Maya, right? This Maya, from where we started, why we have to bring Maya in. Why? Because we see the world and we see Brahman. We see the world and we see Brahman. I'm not saying physically with the physical eye. We comprehend that there is Brahman, this absolute changeless reality, it's existence, consciousness, bliss. But again, we comprehend this world, which is not existence, but an appearance. Not consciousness, but inert. It is an object of experience. Not bliss, but it's a mixture. So we comprehend that there are two opposite things here. How did this happen? How from that one non-dual Brahman, which is partless, changeless, eternal, without birth and death, did this entire world appear? How did that happen? To bring this explanation in, we have the concept of Maya. So then we saw what is Maya. Maya is, first of all, the power of Brahman, Shakti. And Maya is something that is inferred through its effects, Karyanugamya. And Maya is Nistatva. Although it is different from Brahman, it cannot exist apart from Brahman. It doesn't have its own existence. And how do you define Maya? We define it as that which cannot be explained as either existence or non-existence. In Sanskrit, sad, asad, bhyam, bhinnam cannot be explained as existence or non-existence. Why? Because existence is there all the time, but Maya appears. Existence is something that cannot be negated, but Maya can be negated. Non-existence is something that doesn't appear at all, but yet Maya appears and it can be experienced. So therefore, it doesn't fall on any category. It is this midpoint Maya. Now, so what do we do with this Maya? This Maya means that it is an adhyasta. It is a mere superimposition. It's not something separately existing. It doesn't have its own reality. It is a superimposition like the snake on the rope. And because it is a mere superimposition, that relationship with Brahman is a relationless relationship. And because of that, it cannot be counted as two things. It can only be counted as one. Now, if you say, but the effects of Maya are so many, so varied, there's multiplicity, multiple world. Yes, that's true, but the cause is Maya. The cause is Maya, which is an apparent existence. Therefore, its effect is also an apparent existence. And therefore, we come back to Advaita. There's only this one non-dual truth. Now, why is this all important to know? It's because, as what I told you, we will still desire the world if we feel that it's impermanent. But when we truly comprehend that it is a falsity, then the attitude to the world is very different. The attitude to the world is not one of attachment. trying to get, trying to conquer, trying to hoard. The attitude to the world is love, it's respect, it's detachment, and it is actually pure awareness, letting everything just flow as it needs to. It is just that much. The world will go on as it needs to. Things will go on as it needs to. But it's just being. It's just being and letting things happen as they need to happen. That is all. Maya is not something that, we don't see Maya as a bad thing. It's not something that we have to fight and get rid of. No. In Sri Rama Gita, very beautifully, Sri Rama says there's Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. I've mentioned this also before. Avidya Maya is that Maya which takes us away from our goal or from our realization of truth. That's called Avidya Maya. All the things that we really don't need. But there is what we call Vidya Maya. Vidya Maya is all the things that are so beautiful that really aid us on the spiritual path. Like this class, like this knowledge. This knowledge is also Maya, right? The ultimate truth is non-duality. So this all takes place in Maya. Without Maya, we wouldn't be here. So Maya is not something that we have to be allergic to, or it's a bad thing, or run away from it. Embrace that which is Vidya Maya, that Maya which actually helps us to get out of Maya. That Vidya Maya, or Maya of knowledge, is that dream tiger that wakes us up into reality. So it can be incredibly beautiful as long as we are aware of it. Like you're watching a magic show. You're watching a magic show and there is a magician. This magician is Ishvara. The magician is Ishvara, and you know that that magic show where they cut the body. They have this in all the magic shows. They're cutting the body. Now, those who are in Avidya Maya, the Maya of ignorance, the body is being cut, they're going to be so afraid, so scared. They'll scream almost because the body is going to be cut. But those who are in Vidya Maya, the Maya of knowledge, they know that there's something there in the casket, and she'll, the lady or the man, they'll just go inside underneath, it will get cut, and then they'll come back out. That's all that happens. So then how do you watch that magic show? Quite relaxed. Because this whole thing is an illusion, right? So those who are in that Vidya Maya, they see the world like that. Everything will work out. You don't need to go too crazy about it. And that is the beautiful power of Maya. It's a divine force. It's a Shakti. It's something to be loved, respected. And those who know it, know it. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yaha pashyati, sa pashyati. Those who see, will see. Okay. So we will stop here. I'll say the closing prayer and then we do questions and answers and thoughts. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.